Okay, so depending on what you want to call the E note on your guitar, if you want to call it the root, then warping this unwarped fretboard will bring the root and the fifth and the root. Remember, this is the phantom seventh string here, and this B tune down guitar, which I'm not going to have that anymore. I'm going back to C. It brings the it would bring the if you warp the guitar, it brings the 3 and the 7 into the picture right there. Okay, because it brings these guys in like this. All right. Just like that. So warping is good. You don't want to have your guitar tuned all in perfect fourths. You won't be able to play normal guitar shaped chords. Instead of the A shape, if this was all tuned in fourths, instead when you went from the E shape to the A shape, you could do the same shape as the E, just one string higher. So everything would be different, you know. But there are reasons, because when you warp it, you're bringing these notes right here, you're bringing these guys into play. Whereas before that, okay, there were only these guys, but these guys just move up one, so you haven't lost them. You're gaining these two notes because you're not worried about what's going on up here, unless you're Led Zeppelin or somebody, you know. Anyway, so that is what's going on with the warped fretboard. Now, where were we? We have to move forward in time. Okay, so we use these guys, mainly talking about adding the 4th and the 7th to that S3S, and you know, the 4th and the 7th, they fall in the middle of the S2L. You can make these chord stacks, okay? And I call it the open chord CARD, huh? All right, that's a typo. Card. Oh, well, it's kind of like Vegas, you know, a card. All right, the open card stack. All right, this is actually it. This is the chord stack that I made using just these two from the pentatonic scales, these boxes, okay? Now there's some notes missing here. It actually is over here. This isn't triads. This is for pentatonic. This is the pentatonic 3-5-6R, 2-3-5-6R2. We were just talking about that. See how they stack right up with the phantom 7 and the phantom 4 right there, just to make sure you line them up. Add the 4th and the 7th, and they're going to line up one on top of the other. Notice ain't going to fall down because there's strings on a guitar. It's not, you know, and it's also still ascending. It looks like it's descending because it's going to the left on the guitar, but it's not. It's ascending because each step up here is a full 4th. And the whole pattern itself, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 4, all right, is something like 5 octaves up or something like that. It's only going a whole step down, something like that. So it's ascending, even though it looks funny. This one is a little more complicated because when you put this one and this one together on the fretboard and you do it twice, okay, you get the 7L pattern, and this is the center of that 7L stack. Then I use this one to make the open chord card stack there that goes to the right. So you can use that one on the capo, on the fret nut capo. Okay, starting with on the R down here, it'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6 locks you into 5, 6, 7, R2. Remember, this pattern is still alive and well, and it's everywhere. We saw it was all dark, all blackened, the fretboard, okay? So that pattern's going to reemerge right here. 2, 3, there's the 4 was there. 5, 6. So that's what gets you into a nice 7R2 there. 5, 6, 7, R2. 5, 6, 7, R2. Let's try one more time from the R. Warp. That was a pretty sad warp if I ever heard one. I still didn't get it right. But anyway, that's not the subject of today, because we've talked about this in a couple of lessons ago. Alright, just a little review there. That's the long pattern. We're moving forward here. Hopefully we have our 7L. There's the long pattern. Okay, so if you take two of those, you take this guy, put it on top of this guy, what do you got? You've got this on the bottom, and then on the top you got this guy. Alright, and then to the right of this one, you got 6, 3, 4. Okay, there's 6, 3, 4. So you put this one to the right of that one in there, interleave like that, and stack on top of this guy, on top of 6, 7R, you put the 2, 3, 4, okay, and you get your 6, 7R, 2, 3, 4, and you get the 4 of them like this, interweaved. Crop out the center, and that's your stack of 3 extra long right there. That's where we got the pattern that I just started out with the R. But there's more. Today there's more. What's going on? Pattern substitutions. I had to find a way to make this easier. I noticed some things, and I made it easier in 2 ways, to the point where we don't even have to worry about those other patterns anymore. I've got a really good pattern for you. Now look at this. You should know where this is, what this is. This is the stack of 3 long. It's the stack of 3 short from the pentatonic box with the 4 and the 7. Here's the stack of 2 long from the long pentatonic box. That would be the start of a C pentatonic. This is the start of a D pentatonic, right? D shape. The start of an E shape would be the root. It starts there, goes root 2, and then it goes down a fret to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, and then stack on top of that 6, you put a 2, 2, 3, and then warp 5, 6, R2 of the E-shaped cage is back to the right again. So we've got our 2 patterns here. Guess what? See this 5, 6 right here in our favorite pattern here? Well, guess what? The stack of extra 3 long starts on 5, 6 and ends on 5, 6. So we can substitute that whole pattern into the 5, 6 of the simple S3L pattern. So let's say this starting on would be my second would be 2, 3, 4, where normally we would go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2. Now when I get that at 5, 6, I'm going to play the whole other pattern, except for one thing. Now you know what it's going to sound like. Really cool, right? But I want to cover this before I play the pattern. And that is, it's going to migrate the pattern. The pattern is going to migrate to, and it's going to be, this is what it's going to look like if we're just looking at frets, okay? But it doesn't tell you what string it's going to be on, and it could warp. So this is what's going on here. It's going to be 2, 3, 4, but it's not going to go 7R2 like that. This is just conceptual. Conceptually, we're substituting this in, but in reality, it's going to shift the top one, the 7R2, over.